I have been perplexed. I have been flummoxed, bewildered by how Jackson State University's Sonic Boom of the South could have the kind of year it had last year, culminating in the Rose Bowl parade performance this year. Okay, I'm perplexed by how our performance has been here, but our ranking amongst other HBCU bands has been here. I don't get it. Okay, I don't get it. And now, look, all to be transparent, I should say, I am not a band expert. I am not a musician. Okay, I'm a rapper, a damn good one at that. Okay, I know good music. I know what good music sounds like, but all the technical shit that comes with being a musician, I marvel at those young men and women in the Sonic Boom. Okay, all the formations that they have, all the hard work that goes into what they do, they got to be in shape. Y'all saw them just march all them damn miles. Okay, y'all saw that. See, I don't know what all goes into that, but goddamn it, I got somebody who does. I got somebody who does. You understand me? So I am happy to have with me today one of the realest ones. Y'all see him out here in these HBCU podcast streets. You feel me? He frequents many of them. You know what I'm talking about? And this king right here, he knows about the boom now. Matter of fact, he goes by none other than Sonic Boom C98. What up, King?
What's up, first? The real one. What's going on, man?
Man, just trying to get some answers. Trying to get some answers. Because
We all trying to get the answers, man.
I don't know. I was so proud of the Boom for everything they did, man, over this last calendar year, the last 365 days of just excellence. Just excellence. And trying to figure out how we doing all this stuff, but yet and still we being ranked so low amongst our peers. So I wanted to get your take on everything that has transpired over this past year. Okay, so we're gonna start with the band competition from last year's Celebration Bowl. That's what we're gonna start. Okay, but before we get into it, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy first, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on something. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, put all your people on it. Also, make sure you fuck with our sponsor, the King McNeil Collection. There's the King McNeil Collection for all of your fraternity needs, your sorority needs, anything like that. If you're in the Divine Nine, just go over to kingmcneil.com or download the app. All I ask is tell them first sent you, because you're going to like something over there. All right, just tell them first sent you. All right, so last year's Celebration Bowl, okay, the band competition. I watched every minute of it. I sat my daughter down, man, and had her watch it. I was thoroughly impressed by what I saw from us as a Boom alumni. What were your thoughts on that particular performance?
Well, I was thoroughly impressed with the band too. I didn't know that the Usher theme had another meaning to it, but overall, I just thought they had the best show of that weekend from both their competition and from the game. I mean, from my interpretation, we clearly won the competition, but I'm not the only one confused. You're not the only one confused. I think a lot of people within the band community, within the HBC community, kind of HBCU community, are kind of confused about the results of that election, that competition. I think a lot of people, when they found out the next day that Jackson State didn't win, there was a lot of people that was kind of confused about the results.
Okay.
I have some thoughts about it, but even with some of the thoughts I have, I don't completely agree with the decision.
How is that stuff scored, man? Like when y'all used to be in band competitions, like what were y'all being told that y'all were gonna be scored upon?
Well, To be honest with you, this is the first competition of this kind within the HBCU community probably in a long time. Because for the most part, that's something you do in high school and middle school. You go to these competitions and it's very strict um, judging, just like if you were to go to a choir competition. It's
Okay.
very um, they look at the level of difficulty of the songs you play, how well you play it, if you make any mistakes. They have a whole score sheet and they break it down to you. Um, so you know when you ever hear about a choir person or a band person making all state or making Lions band or whatever, it's based on the score and interpretation of the judges. But
Hmm.
you know, for the most part in college, we just have showcases. We have battle of bands. We have
Yeah.
the one we have in Jackson or the National or the Honda. I think even
Hmm.
with the Honda and all the years they had, I think they only picked a winner one or two times, and even then, that winner was basically uh, viewers' choices, basically whoever the, uh, the fans or whatever pick as the best band. But
Hmm.
I'm actually looking at the band at your website, and they have I guess a metric they go by for judging the bands. And, they start in like maybe September at the beginning of the season, and then
Okay.
every month they'll watch one show from the bands, and then they'll judge it, and then they'll give a ranking each month.
Okay.
So if you watched it last year, every month we were going up a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, and then finally got to the last month, which I think is cumulative.
Hmm.
Jack State of North Carolina T was the two top bands in the big band division because they had the big bands that are in the two
Yeah.
big D1 conference, and they had the bands in the D2 conference.
Yeah, I
But when you
remember.
look on their website, they have certain categories that they score on there, and they're weighted. So the two biggest categories are musicality, which is, as you somebody music, you know the difference between somebody that can sing and somebody that can't sing. So they look at how well you sound, how well you play together. You can basically they listen to how good the band plays.
Okay.
And then the other one, which is the highest score you can get in 80, is picture, drill, and design. So they look at the formations you're making. If you're making pictures, if you're making diamond, they look at how well you do it. So are your lines straight? Is
Okay.
everybody marching the same? You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
the shape you're trying to make, is it even? Is it symmetrical? Is it the way it's supposed to be? So they kind of judge and I'm assuming how many pictures you make and how well you make them. And then after that, is where it starts the confusion because the next thing after that is percussion,
Okay.
and none of us really know how they judge the percussion. Because if you watch some of the podcasts, Passionist Network, and some other ones that cover bands, KB the bandhead, others where we discuss the bands, nobody's really clear what they're judging on percussion. I'm sure they're looking at it different than a regular person would. It's just like if you go watch a movie, you say, "Oh man, that's a great movie. It was entertaining and all that." But a critic, they look at it the same way like a drama teacher will look at it. How was the
Yeah.
lighting? How was the character development? So a lot of people are questioning how they judge the percussion. Is it
Yeah.
how antenna they are? Is it how what they call clean, which means all the drummers playing together sound like one big drum rather than a series of drums
Okay.
together. But we really don't know how they're judging it.
Uh-huh.
And personally, I originally thought that was the reason. That was part of the reason why we got a lower score last year. I thought, well, North Carolina AT did a whole separate drum feature, kind of like you would have seen like in the movie Drumline. But we
Okay.
kind of just did like a few seconds just as a part of our show.
Uh-huh.
But then this year, the bands that did the whole separate drum feature, they lost. And the two bands that just kind of did as the part of the show won. So now I'm kind of, I don't know if our percussion score was the reason we lost. Then after percussion is drum majors. So they
Hmm.
score the drum majors up to a score of 50. And the next one after that is auxiliary. So that's J sets, flag girls, or anybody else you have that's not playing instruments. And what they do is if you have one group like we have the J sets, you get whatever out of 50. But if you have
Hmm.
multiple groups, like say some schools have twirl or some schools have flag girls, I assume with Alabama State they would also judge the honeybees. They just give you the average of your scores, and that's how you get your auxiliary score with the average of all the different ones you have.
Hmm.
But the thing is, debate what everybody is having is how is everything being judged? Like I'm looking at drum majors. Everybody's questioning, well, how they judge drum majors? Are they judging how they dance, how they move? Are they judging like if the drum majors direct the band, does the drum majors that direct the bands get more than
Hmm.
ones that just dance? No, nobody really knows.
Hmm.
Same thing with auxiliaries. I don't really know how they judge the auxiliaries. I can kind of come up with some ideas. I'm not 100% sure. Are they looking at okay, when the dancers out there, are they making some sort of formation when they're dancing? Are they judging? Is everything uniform? I really don't know what they're judging. And when you
Yeah.
look at all the different people that have been trying to cover this, that's the same question they have. Even some people who were former dancers and flags or auxiliary themselves, they question, okay, is the person that's judging percussion, is he a percussionist? He's an expert. Does he really know how to judge percussion? Is the person
Yeah.
doing auxiliary, is she a dancer, but she can't judge flags and twirlers and other stuff? So, so I think the problem is we have the score sheet and we know what it is, but nobody really knows what the standard.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at um, this year's scorecard. We started off kind of toward the top, and then toward the season we were down like number seven, number eight. When I look at it, they ranked our drum majors 14th. They ranked our percussion 16th. And and, and everybody that sees the final scorecard, they was like, how the hell Jack State in the almost the bottom in the ranking of drum majors? How they almost at the very bottom in percussion? Almost everybody across the band world knows that different bands have different styles. The swag is different from the MEAC, which is different than the D2s, but they all pretty much accept that for drum majors and percussion, Jack State is right up there, top three, top five.
Yeah.
So being kind of perplexed, a lot of people are kind of perplexed how we got down that low. And like I said, last year when we lost, it was two places I thought we may have lost points on, which was percussion and auxiliary.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I didn't know how they were judging. It's even Jay Walker or somebody even questioned that this year's. Are they judging percussion that kind of just do their features part of the show, rather than separate? Are they judging different between which one you do?
Mm-hmm.
And then with the auxiliary, I question because personally, let me say this: North Carolina A&T, anybody that understands bands can understand why they're a top ranked band. They do
Okay.
good formations. They have a clean show. They play well, so they have the musicality. They do a lot of different things with their auxiliary, and a lot of people consider them the top one, two, three percussion. So it's no surprise to me that they will be, up there with us. I don't
Okay.
think they're as good as some other bands, but if you're doing it from a judging just that way, where you're judging on certain standards,
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina A&T deserves to be up there.
Okay.
But when I looked at it last year, I was thinking, wow, did we lose points because they kind of really did a percussion feature and we kind of just had WT kind of just do something for a few seconds as part of our drill? Then
Mm-hmm.
I also wondered, what did we lose? Because this year they announced who won what category. Last year they didn't do that. So
Okay.
so I was kind of wondering, what did we lose for auxiliary? Was it because we just did our normal J set routine, but then they had the I think that dance of the Golden Lights. They had them do a routine, and they had them because their auxiliaries just do everything. So they
Okay.
had them dance. They did uh, some with the flags. They twirled. They did something with the little I can't think of the name of it, but it's kind of like a ring that has like kind of tassel looking stuff on it. So they had like
Okay.
4 or 5 different auxiliary features, and I really
Mm-hmm.
didn't think they did much of a drill, but they had 4 or 5 different auxiliary features, and they had a big major percussion feature, and I maybe thought, well, maybe that's why we lost.
Okay.
But now somebody else said that in another version of it that that was the stadium recording where they stayed zoomed out. Some people said that we made a mistake at some point in the show, and we might have lost points. I haven't
Mm.
seen that particular video, so I have to go back and look at it. But that's been the point of contention with everybody that kind of covers bands. We never really we don't know what they're judging, how they're judging it. And what I think
Okay.
they should do is they should have a band volunteer to do a show, or they should have some kind of demo band, and they should use a scorecard and say, okay, well, we gave them 80 on musicality for this, and we gave them 80 on drills for this, and we gave that way we know how it's being judged. Because right now it's just no transparency, and we don't know how it's being judged.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
really knows.
Yeah.
We got a
And,
general idea, but it's not specific enough. Because if you give us an example, and then I can say, okay, well, I understand why this band didn't get all the points. I understand, but until we know how you judging it, we really don't know how you come to your scores.
yeah. And I
And I,
think I totally agree with you on that because first of all, I hope that it's clearly being articulated to our band directors, all of them, to all the schools, like what they're being judged on. But it should also be articulated to us as fans too, because we care about this so much. Like kind of like with in power football or at the FBS level, they they gonna spell out how they came up with that college football playoff
Mm-hmm.
ranking and everything. Now, a lot of us don't agree with it, but they gonna give us okay. This how the seeding went, and even back in the BCS era, they used to tell us what this is what
Yeah,
when
yeah, they'll
the
tell you how it's
computer.
calculated, just like PER
Yeah,
and all the other stuff.
yeah. Well, okay, we care about our football. Clearly, we care about our
Mm-hmm.
football, but we also in our culture, we care a lot about our bands too. So since we doing this competition, I would like to know how in the hell we're being scored. So I won't just be sitting there with my baby watching us, and I'm amazed at what we're doing, especially because it was Usher, because I know all of those records. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, this is amazing. They in Atlanta doing Usher. And then I was like, what? We lost? I couldn't come up with it. And then this year, to be ranked that low after the year we were having, I don't know, man. It was tough. I totally agree with you that we need some transparency on that scoring. Real
And I
talk.
think it would be simple. I mean, if you just people can submit, or you can have a band do one as a demo, and you can explain how you did it, then everybody will be clear. Then people may disagree with it, but at least they'll feel better because at least they understand what's going on. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you tell me your metric, give me your rubric, then I can say,
Give
okay,
us a
I get
rubric.
it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then like in high school and competitions, any kind of competition you go in high school, middle school, they're gonna give you the scorecard. They're gonna they're gonna get a recording of everything they were saying. They say, oh, that trumpet played that note wrong. Everything that they judge on is recorded. So that
Mm.
you're gonna know exactly what the judge was thinking at every second. And they give you the scorecard, they tell you what they marked you off on and everything. At the very least, share that with the band staffs. But like I said, do an example one, and then we'll also kind of have an idea. Okay, I agree or disagree, but at least I know where they're coming from.
Well, I would hope they giving it to them.
Now,
I'm just gonna say they giving it to them. They better be giving it to them at least. You know what I'm saying? But
now
I
I will
think
say one thing about this year's competition.
okay,
A lot of people question why Jack State wasn't there, why Jack State wasn't this and that. But here's the thing people don't know. Jack
okay.
State and about three other bands told them in advance we wanted to participate this year, but they scored us
Mm.
anyway. I think us, Norfolk
Ah.
State, Alabama A&M, I think one other band had already said, "Hey, we're not coming."
Mm.
So when you saw that post where the band said something about, "Hey, we going to the event we actually agreed to participate in," that's because they knew all year that we weren't coming, and that was kind of the point of that's been
Ah.
another point of contention. Also, people from bands that know their band wasn't coming was like, "Why y'all still ranking us? And why y'all still putting us in the advertisement as if we coming? You know we're not coming." Now, I'm not trying not the competition because they got to do what they kind of do they got to do, but I mean they pretty much knew we weren't coming, and that what kind of makes me suspicious of the final ranking because we were robbed at the top, and then at the end we dropped down. I kind of feel like well they were like okay well the band is not coming and we know not coming. We'll just I'm not that's the way I look at it. I might be wrong, but I kind of look at it like well are they dropping down the bands? They know they're not coming anyway, so it won't be looking like a band that ranked up high didn't come. But when you do that, you just bring in more controversy. Now everybody's questioning, well, how the hell did Jack State drop in a matter of weeks? How did Norfolk State all of a sudden drop? And now all of a sudden, I mean, most people expect North Carolina A&T and FAMU to at least be in the running, whether they agree or disagree if they were the two best bands this year. But a lot of people questioning how all of a sudden some bands kind of dropped down a couple spots on the last ranking,
Mm.
especially when you've been
Mm.
watching every month. And I think the monthly ones are just the score for that month, and then at the end it's cumulative. But even
Mm-hmm.
still, people are questioning, well, how did Jack State drop all the way down? How is like we said, how are the drum majors and percussion so low? Because for a long time they
Yeah,
had
that's wild, man. Come on now. That's wild. 14?
these, and then the thing about it is people think, oh, Jack State mad because they didn't win last year, but it wasn't just Jack State people. I mean, it's people from Tennessee State, the MEAC, the SWAC, all over. People who ain't just necessarily pro Jack State people or people that just band enthusiasts. And they all question the same thing. They're
Mm-hmm.
questioning. why we lost last year, and they questioning how Jack State drum majors and percussion so low. And these come from people from schools like Norfolk that's got good percussion. They know when they see
They
it.
know. They
Some
know.
people question why the Jasons were so low all year. Now in the final ranking they were 5, but for the whole year they were kind of ranked low. But I think the problem with that is also we knew we weren't participating, so we didn't submit any videos. So when bands don't submit videos, they just judge off whatever video they can find.
Hmm.
Even if we are submitting, most bands aren't really sending a video in based off knowing it's going to be adjudicated. They're not customizing it for judging. They're just doing whatever they normally do that week.
Okay.
But yeah, but that's the question. A lot of people have been asking me, well, what happened this year? How come y'all weren't in it this year? How come, what's going on? Well, we never were going to be in it.
Okay.
We never
Well,
agreed to participate in it. They just kept ranking us and kept, including all the bands. But I don't know it to be true, but I kind of feel like some of the bands that said they weren't going to participate would kind of drop down that last ranking, so it wouldn't be no question asked about. Well, y'all been advertising this band all this year, and you had them ranked high, but now they're not coming. What's the question? What's the problem?
that's logical. That's logical. That makes a lot of sense.
'Cause
All right.
that's the only reason I can think of. Because even some other people's like everybody's question like, how did Jack State drop that? How would they go from like 2 or 3 or whatever we were, and now they 8? And what did you see between November and December or October, November that all of a sudden made them drop? Because we didn't see any quality drop from them. Everything they were doing seemed as consistent as it always was. So how is it that you get to last one and then they drop off? So I think even Southern dropped. I think Southern was the other band. I'm thinking of Southern was the other band that said they weren't going to participate,
Okay.
and they kind of
Okay.
dropped down also.
Well, speaking on that quality, okay, because I got my answers on that, and you giving me some things to think about, give me something to hold on to with that, because I wasn't understanding at all, man. But looking at the quality, we've displayed a lot of quality
Yeah.
this past year. All right, so let's go with the Super Bowl. Boom first,
Well,
okay.
you know what? One thing happened before the Super Bowl that you forgot about.
What I forget about? Don't
Well,
let me
before the
forget
Super
about
Bowl,
nothing now.
we also had part of the band or part of the percussion traveling with Drake.
So did.
I
So
think it was
did.
most. I think it was most alumni WT, but I think it was some current WT too.
So did. So did. You know what? Now look, that was probably Drake's last great moment. That probably was. We were right there with him for his last great moment before all hell broke loose. Okay,
Yeah.
but you so right. We were, bruh. Right. We were so booked and busy. I forgot that we were going around with at that time. That man was still considered the biggest rapper in the world.
hmm
Man, that's wow. We really were everywhere last year, bro.
hmm
That's incredible, man. That's
No,
incredible. So talk to me about both of those then. Okay, talk to me about both of those.
I mean, I'm not really sure how they came about. I'm gonna have to probably ask them questions. I suspect that Cortez might have had
Probably,
something to do with it,
yeah, probably so.
but I mean, but I think Drake's, he has people in Memphis, so he's been to the Jackson area, so he's probably familiar with the band. But
Yeah.
Cortez and some other people have some connections in the entertainment industry, so I'm pretty sure they made it happen. And if
Hmm.
I'm not mistaken, when we did that Usher show at the battle of that band of the year last year, I think he was still considering what band he was going to use in the Super Bowl, and that was kind of a all right. Go on, take care of this. Go on, use this band as putting on this great Usher show. So that was either
Hmm.
auditional. That was us kind of secretly telling people, "Hey,
That was
we're gonna
dope,
be in the
man.
Super." Yeah,
That was dope. I knew all this,
but I know that show was related to us being in the Super Bowl.
and that was amazing, man. That was amazing. Now I know some people just going online after that Super Bowl and seeing folks react. You saw it was a divided America because a lot of white brothers and sisters didn't know what the hell they were talking about. They didn't know what they had seen.
hmm
But Black America knew what the hell they had seen. Okay, that was amazing. And had them out there and had them raise those drums up, and you
Yeah, the
see
bass drum with the Jack State on it,
that, man. That was so
and I liked that too. I was like,
damn
okay, yeah,
dope.
we performing, we in the uniform he chose for us, but at least you know we got on our drums. Hey, Jack State. So when people go back and look at it, they'll know, okay, that band out there was Jack State. Because we didn't know for sure at this performance with Beyonce this year if that was Texas Southern or somebody else until people revealed it. But at the time of the Super Bowl halftime, you knew specifically that was Jack State because
And
he let us use our own drums and our own drum heads without putting like some kind of Super Bowl or Usher theme thing on them.
And that's the most viewed television program every single
Yeah,
year, man. You know what I'm saying? So to have us on that stage, that was incredible. Moving on down the line, we know we went viral numerous times in 2024. I think the one that really was popular was Tyler the Creator's Sticky.
sticky.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? With us killing that. Also, though, this one didn't get as much fanfare, but it was viral as well. And Big Boy of Outkast, the iconic Outkast, shared it on his platforms
yeah.
with
That was
us
the
doing
players anthem, players ball. Yeah, the
Players Ball,
outcast.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, what were your thoughts on their performance of those records?
When I first, I had heard the sticky song, different versions of it, and I kind of like, I said it was okay, but it's something about the boom of when certain bands play a song, it makes you want to go back and listen to it. But their
Hmm.
performance in the Alabama State game, I don't know. I guess this was just the hope, just the BTA year felt the ass for Jack State year. It was something about that game. The football team wanted to kill them, and every time we play in Montgomery, the boom go down there and get the W. It's like they came in there with the mindset of. And when I was at the game, I was right next to the band, so I was like, damn, that's hidden. And then next thing I know, a few days later, I'm seeing the views go up, and then I see Tyler the Creator mention it on a couple of social media platforms. I said, okay, this gonna blow up.
Yeah.
And then Big Boy, and next thing I know is 8 million, 9 million, 10 million. I was like, okay, the boom going viral again, which we seem like every few years we'll go viral. It seems like us and Southern go viral a lot for whatever reason. These artists
Mhm.
really pay attention to when one of us play their songs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was dope. That was dope. And then, of course, they went out there and showed they whole ass out there at the Rose Bowl parade. You know, and of course now in between this, all throughout the year, at all the football games, they were
Hmm.
kicking ass. Okay, all right. So I ain't forget, but that's just tradition. That's just what they do. We're so accustomed to that. You feel me? But
Because I
then,
did like doing it during the year when they did that California theme show, just kind of keeping people's mind that we were going to the Rose Bowl. What I really wanted to do, what I hoped they was going to do, was kind of like how we did. You know how we did like a video inside the memorial for the inauguration, and then I think Southern did some for the Rose Bowl back during COVID when everybody couldn't go. I was hoping they would have done like a few clips to put on the internet of the Boom doing California artists theme stuff, hoping maybe a couple of them pick it up and kind of advertise the fact that the Boom was gonna be coming to California for the new
mhm,
year.
mhm.
But I do like that halftime show they did that was um, California themed. That was a good show I liked this year. No, another thing I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about the band of the year competition for this year.
Okay.
Another thing that got kind of controversial is because we decided to do the day of the boom the same day as that band of the year competition.
Mhm,
So they, I guess the same school they practiced at the last time,
mhm.
they kind of did the day of the boom thing, and it was. I actually saw it on Showtime's. It was a couple thousand people was online watching it on his YouTube channel before he went over to the Mercedes Benz to record it. So they've been kind of hot. But
So
now in
did they?
California,
So did that ruffle some feathers with us doing that?
it did because a lot of people didn't they thought maybe we were trying to take a shot at the other competition. Because like I said, we made that post saying we're going to do the event that we actually agreed to do, which was
Okay.
saying, hey, we're doing it because they do the day of the boom every time we go to Celebration Bowl.
Mhm.
So I believe they did one even though he was in the competition last year. So a lot of people was like, is Jack State being petty? Is Jack State trying to? But it was just that's just something we do. People didn't realize we've been doing this day with the boom thing in Atlanta every time we go.
Okay. Okay. So it
So
was just commonplace in sense,
yeah.
given the situation, they tried to act like we would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it got a lot of attention. I mean, the stadium was packed. A few thousand people watched it online on YouTube. So I mean, they did what they needed to do, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna have even more students come from Atlanta. Like we,
I was
I
about to
mean,
ask, are those events kind of good for our recruitment of talent?
yeah, because those anytime we do a day with the well, I guess they call it a night with the boom. But anytime we do a day with the boom, or we do the high school band camp, that's just a recruiting hit, man. And then I always get a lot of people coming, but people been coming to from Atlanta to the band since I was in the band.
Mhm.
So when I first got Jack State, I got Jack State maybe about a year after Doc Holliday and TC Taylor came. So
Mhm.
even when I came in, a lot of my people were from Atlanta.
Hmm.
But they did
Okay.
the same thing in Cali. It wasn't just a parade; they did a whole thing. The 4 or 5 days they were there, they started out with a day with the boom the first day, and then they did band fest. I mean, they did like a halftime show, and
Mm-hmm.
then they did the Disneyland parade. Then they had a day off, and then they went and did the full Rose Bowl parade. But everything they did there was getting a lot of. I mean, I was seeing people sharing it. I saw people sharing the day with the boom, the band fest. They were the last band to go on that day because Ohio, because all the bands that were in the Rose Bowl did it. Oregon was there. Ohio State did something. Uh, that band from Japan, the mostly women band, they did something. So everybody that was in the parade was in this little band fest thing. But
Mm-hmm.
even then, the boom stole the show. Because when I went on YouTube or went on social media, everybody was showing that performance, showing
Mm-hmm.
that show. Um, I think what they did was everybody did either they did a show or they just did a example of what they're gonna do in the parade. So them going past the stands was like going past the judges stand in the parade.
Mm-hmm.
So I even posted a clip from that. I posted a clip of the band playing the Bruno Mars Lady Gaga song.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed like everything they did was just getting a lot of attention on social media, and it really
The
blew up with the
folk,
Disneyland parade, and it really blew up with the main parade.
folks out west, even black folks, ain't as hip to our band culture either. Because
Hmm.
it's not as many black folks. I think Compton be having Compton, LA, and all this stuff be having in Oakland, be having
Hmm.
folks fooled about how many black folks are out there. You know what I'm saying? Like we the blackest state in the union, and folks be looking and seeing
Hmm.
uh straight out of Compton and thinking
Hmm.
everybody it's all these black folks out there. So how does our band culture play out there? Are those folks be like, oh my God, man,
Yeah,
I
they
might
look at
need
it like, man, I ain't never seen them before. But
yeah.
I think we also had, um, I think we got a pretty nice size alumni base out there, so they probably kind of spread the word, and they probably brought people to it. But I mean, a lot of people seem to really take pretty well to it. Like the first night they were there, the night with the boom, they had a lot of people turn out to see it, and a lot of kids show out to come out and watch the boom and play with the boom. And they even did a video afterwards where they interviewed some of the kids, and they were like, "Well, I never seen a band like this. I don't really know that much about the bands in the South, but this is a great experience. Just seeing how professional this band is, how they move as a unit. I think I may consider going south and joining the school, getting the school, playing a band like this. So
Mhm.
it's like anywhere you go where it's not a lot of black people. We come in, they see us perform or entertain, they just looking like it's the greatest show they ever seen. Cause they're so not used to it.
Mhm. Like I know
So
all the high schools around here copycat the boom. I know Canton does. You know, we
hmm
literally call our band the baby boom. So I wonder, do those predominantly black schools out there in some of these areas, like a Compton or whatever high school might be there, like do they try to emulate some of the HBCU bands, especially now that you got the internet and you can kind of go on YouTube. And like you said, we have an alumni base out
hmm
there. So maybe some of them are working in these schools or volunteering with bands. I wonder, do they try to emulate some of the things they see the Boom do and Southern and Fam? I wonder, are they trying to copy some of that?
I'm wondering too, cause I don't know. I know what's pretty much going on with the bands and our area of the country. Most of
Yeah.
all of them are following the HBCU because this is where all of them are. But I haven't really seen that many in California high schools. But I think I have seen a couple that kind of that follow the traditional march style like the HBCUs do. A lot of them they probably doing what they see USC and UCLA and but some of those bands on the West Coast they still kind of do they kind of similar to Ohio State, so they still do some stuff similar to what we do. So they probably seen some of it, but I think with us being on Instagram and TikTok and being on social media, I kind of think people outside the
Yeah.
HBCU space starting to see it. And there's been a lot of attention on HBCUs starting from COVID up till now. So I think there's more people starting to see, starting to see it now.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you have people moving out there. They probably moving out just like they moved to Texas and other places. They probably moving to California and kind of implementing some of the things now. So it's probably they probably more familiar with our style than maybe they probably used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm just thinking about all these quote unquote chocolate cities throughout the country, like a Oakland, like a Milwaukee up in the Midwest, you know what I'm saying, on the East Coast, some of these joints that got a high concentration of black folks, you know what I'm saying, but they might not be privy to our traditions and stuff like that. Like, something New York City got all these black folks, but you got some of these rappers up there that's coming
Hmm.
from these projects and went to these PS 192s.
Hmm.
They might not be hip to. We
But
got
I
some we got some different shit down here.
yeah, I think some of these, especially on the West Coast, I think some of these people are really starting to kind of see it more because a lot of these schools, these HBCUs, are starting to recruit heavy on the West Coast, both students and athletes. I know even back when I was in school, we had a nice little amount of people from Oakland and other cities in California. So I think a lot of HBCUs have been making a concerted effort to recruit the West Coast, and also the athletic teams are starting to recruit. So I think you're starting to find more people out there that's starting to know HBCUs, knows the bands, or students go back home and they tell them, "Oh man, look," they showing their friends, "Oh look at the band at my school." So it's slowly but surely. And they didn't know about us then; they know about us now because that Rose Bowl
Man,
performance.
man, look, that whole year, man, that whole year was historic. You
Yeah,
understand me, dog? Like if they didn't know, they
they know
goddamn
now.
know now.
Yeah, they know
They know
now.
that. Have you seen some of these clips of some of these like Hispanic bands copying us? Have you seen any of those?
Yeah,
I had to
yeah.
send them
I saw the one with the I seen the Hispanic band and a band over in Asia trying to be like the
in,
J5.
in Asia. Oh,
Hmm.
you gotta send me that. You
I
gotta
gotta
send me
find. It's
that,
been a
dog.
while since I've seen. It. I gotta find it, but
Man,
I've seen
man, cool out, bro. I what in Asia?
because it kind of went viral on social media because everybody was like, "Who are these people trying to imitate a black band?" It was a Hispanic band with their drum majors doing trying to be like the J5.
Yeah, that's what I saw the Hispanic boy. I said, man, look at this, man. They trying to get down. Maybe they were trying to be like our boy when we just had the leader of the J5 was a Hispanic cat.
Yeah,
Oh, I forgot that young man's name. Oh, I apologize to that young king, but he used to kill it. He used to kill it. But I'm proud of him, man. It was a historic year. I know as an alumni of the Boom, you're proud of him. I want to get your take on this though. As an OG Boom member, what do you think we need to do this year to keep this momentum pushing forward? Because we gave them that praise, but I'm sure it's something you saw that to my naked eye, and I'm glad you made a great point about like if somebody was a film critic, a drama teacher gonna judge that differently. That's a hell of a point. Because as a rapper, some of the raps that people be like, oh my
mm,
God, he's spitting. I'd be like, man, what the
like
fuck
what?
y'all
Yeah,
doing? Because I know how to rap. So as an OG Boom member, if you had to be nitpicking, what's something you say, all right, I love what y'all did last year, but I need y'all to do this to keep pushing us forward.
that's a really hard question to answer. I'm gonna tell you the truth because
Okay.
the other night on Ken Clark's show, he's supposed to have Dr. Little on,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't come on, so he ended up bringing on the people from the band sessions
Mm-hmm.
who I came into the band with them, like Danielle, Toby, and Terrell,
Okay.
and they asked them the question about comparing the different band directors, comparing the different eras,
Okay.
and they gave basically the same answer I would have given. That it's kind of hard to say what they really need to improve on. Most stuff is probably my new stuff, just basically continue doing what they're doing because the band now is kind of a combination of all the band director before Dr. Little, what they tried to build. There's a little bit of Harold Housen in there, a little bit of Dow Taylor and Dr. Liddell, and then now um, Dr. Little. And I mean, we just happy to see it because all of us, we march with those guys that's on the staff now. You know, uh, Mr. Johnson, Kevin Johnson came in a couple years behind us, and so did Dr. Little. So we marched with those two guys, and one of the guys that came with us, one of our crowd brothers, Lowell Hollinger, he was on the staff at 1.2. So a lot of people that's been on the staff or been helping with the band over the last 8 9 years or so are people I march with.
Mm-hmm.
So we just happy to kind of see them um, just doing so well.
Mm.
But only I can think of is just keep trying to come up with something new, something fresh. Just
Keep it
ma- ma-
fresh.
just keep maybe mixing something we haven't done before. Do a drill or a design or some concepts. Because even when I was in the band, our older one of our older directors, Dr. Magruder, that's at Winston Salem now, he has some ideas of some doing some stuff that you wouldn't traditionally see in HBCU bands or at least in the SWAC. So I can say just keep coming with fresh ideas, keep coming up with good music, keep being creative. I mean, it's a little stuff here and there. I could say this section could do this, or you know, clean up march or whatever. But anything I could think of that I saw in a game that I thought they could have done better, I go to another game they already fixed it or they already improved it. So the only thing I can do is just keep grinding and just keep doing what you're doing because really, like I said, all these guys before the current band staff led us up to where we are now, and what they're doing now is just taking it to a whole nother level. I mean, the
Well,
band's getting bigger, people interested in it. I mean, all I can do is just keep working and keep staying dedicated to it. Hopefully, we see the band get a little bit bigger, and really what I would prefer to see improved on is not necessarily what the band is doing, but what the rest of us are doing as
mm,
far as supporting, donating to the band, because it costs a lot of money to run a band without that many people, because they gotta have scholarships, and they gotta travel, and they gotta have meals. So I want us as fans to kind of do more. But the only way I can think of the band is just improve whatever you're already doing, whatever you did good in 23 and whatever you did well in 24, just improve it even more in 25 and just keep being creative, keep being innovative, and just keep giving us some we haven't seen before. Because
that's
right
what's up.
now, like Mr. Ford says, it's the year of the Tiger. Whether it's the football team, was the band, we just killing the game. So the only thing both of them got to do is just keep doing what they've been doing and just keep improving on it. One thing I will want to see them do is not necessarily improving the band itself, but now that we've done the Rose Bowl, now it's time for us to see what else we can um, get involved in. Because I know myself and Danielle, that's on the band sessions, we talked a couple years ago about how we like to see the band in the Macy's Day. So I would say just keep expanding our reach and trying to get more of these national or world recognized performances. So hopefully Macy's is next. Hope we put the application in and some of these other events and keep this boom brand building.
That's
But I
what's
mean,
up.
from the band and to the media team, I mean, it's all top notch. It just
Mhm.
seems like it's just at the whole university, just everybody just trying to be on top of their game right now.
Well, that's what it is, man. Well, we gonna close this out by simply saying, "Love the boom," and put it
Now I
on.
will say this, man. I thought this was a boom talk. You was gonna strike up the band, man. I was ready for it. You didn't do it, man.
Hold on. Well, in that case, I think it's only right. It is only proper. It is only fitting, since I got an OG Boom member on here, that I strike up the motherfucking band. Love the boom and put it on something.
Another boom.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.